Hello, greetings everyone. I am Onyiyechi Wariboko, a senior lecturer with the Department of Religious and Cultural Studies, University of Port Harcourt. And welcome to our series on the course Religion, Culture, and Gender Studies in Africa. All right, welcome also to Jack Academia. So, like I said, the course is Religion, Culture, and Gender Studies in Africa. And this is our outline. We're going to be looking at introduction, gender theory, gender in Africa, religion and gender expression in African sociocultural setting, inimical gender practices in Africa, contemporary gender discourse, and of course, African women in history. And then we'll discuss generally some case studies on gender in Africa. So introduction, like I said, the course is religion, culture, and gender in Africa. So what is religion? Religion has been variously defined and still does not enjoy, a consensus definition. Generally, one would say it's an institution to express belief. And what is culture? Culture is also, like religion, has several definitions, but it's generally seen as the complex whole of humans' acquisition as members of a society, their material and non-material culture. And then what is gender? What is the meaning of gender? We can define gender from different perspectives. Generally, we look at gender from the constructionist perspective and from the essentialist perspective. The constructionists believe that gender is a social construction of how the society expects men and women to behave. Those attitudes, those behaviors, those roles, attributes that have been constructed and assigned by the society to men and female or women, otherwise known as male and masculine and feminine genders. But the essentialists actually believe that these roles are assigned essentially because there's something essential about men. There is something particular about men that make people assign these masculine roles to them, and something particular about women, that make society assign some of these roles to them. Okay, again, we are going to be considering the difference between gender and sex, because it's been used, interchangeably. Gender has been used variously to mean sex and sex gender, but they are not exactly the same thing. Gender, as we want to use it in this course, is that social construction of attitudes, attributes, behaviors, and what have you to men and women, while sex is the biological sex that is assigned at birth. When you look at, in between the legs of any child who has just been born, from the genitalia, to be able to tell the sex of the child. So we want to differentiate that. And then there are terminologies that we use in the study of gender, and it is good if we can master some of these terms. For instance, we have feminism, which simply is the belief in the movement for social, economic, and political equality for women in society. We have masculinism, which is the direct opposite of feminism. And then we have words like effeminate, words that are used to describe a man that behaves and dresses like a woman. Most times it is used in a derogatory sense. We have gender stereotype, where a particular gender has been generalized to behave in a certain way. When we say things like men are stingy, that's a stereotype. When we say things like women cry a lot, it's a stereotype because it's a generalization that is most times born out of prejudice. Then we have gender equality, equity, equality, like we see in the picture here, simply stands for equal treatment, irrespective of other considerations. While equity is equitable treatment, like we can also see. Find out that in equality, they were given equal pedestals to stand on, but under equity, the tallest person does not need anything. The other one, the person in the middle, needed something little to help him see across, the other side. And then the shortest needed double. That's equity. It's not equal now, but everyone is carried along. And then we have words like history, which is a word that is used to see history from a women's perspective, sometimes feminine perspective. Things like LGBTIQ, familiar with that, as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex, queer. All of these are studied under gender studies. We have gender mainstreaming, that is considering women and men, how it affects all genders in policy making and in the public sphere. We have gynocentrism, that's female or women-centered. We have sexism, prejudice for a particular sex because of their sex. We have misogyny, which is similar to prejudice. And then we have matriarchy, where the mothers rule, and we have patriarchy, where the fathers rule. Thank you.